Okay, you're good to go. Okay. Today is October 8th. It is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Pension Committee. I am calling the meeting to order at 11:01. You have minutes from our August 13th meeting. Could I get a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
And do I have a second? I'll second them. Can I second them?
Mm-hmm.
I'll second them. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Bob, aye.
Well, I wasn't at that meeting, so I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay.
So I can abstain,
Okay.
I guess.
Yep. Abstain. Okay, great. All right, so it's unanimous with all in attendance. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the review and possible approval of a disability pension for David Rivera.
Would we do that in executive session?
Sure.
Is there any objection?
Any objection?
Yes, I request the policy.
Okay, all right. And there will be health, I believe, some health things that'll be coming out in executive session, Attorney Obama.
And I just want to state on the record that Mr. Rivera is unavailable. His attorney, John Bochanis, is here today and has just requested executive session. So the minutes, the executive session be that it be an open session for the minutes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I have had the file available for the committee. The first exhibit, which I will give a copy to the attorney, is the disability application with medical documentation backing up his ask for a disability pension. I am going to read a statement and then turn it over to the attorney to see what statements he may have. On May 31st of 2022, Mr. David Rivera submitted an application for a disability pension, which was reviewed by the Pension Committee in July of 2022. After thorough consideration, the committee voted to place the disability pension application on hold pending the result of all felony charges, violations, and misdemeanors in court. On July 5th, 2024, Mr. Rivera was charged with 4 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. According to the warrant, he used his New Canaan badge to purchase explosives, improperly store them, and possess them illegally under his badge. It is important to note that as a police officer, it is not permitted to possess explosives under your badge. As outlined in section 16.5 of the pension plan, which I do have a copy for Mr. Bochanis. If a participant commits any act of fraud or dishonesty towards the employer while employed, the plan administrator has the discretion to forfeit the participant's benefits under the plan. The pension committee, acting as the plan administrator, must now determine whether Mr. Rivera committed any acts of fraud or dishonesty. If the committee finds that he did, he would not be eligible for a disability pension. He would only be eligible for his contributions, which would be paid to him in a lump sum. Currently, his contributions are around $54,000.
Would you like to hear from Attorney Bochanis on behalf of Mr. Rivera?
Sure.
If you have anything to add.
Would you want to have you speak to one of these mics just so it can be picked up for people at Zoom? Just push the button on the. Thank you.
And John Bochanis, Daily Wayne Bochanis, representing Mr. Rivera with regard to his pending disability application. From a medical standpoint, it's clear and there should be no question that he's disabled from performing his duties as a police officer pursuant to the Connecticut Orthopedics report reflecting that his left wrist injury has caused him to be disabled from performing the duties of a police officer for the town of New Canaan. With regard to section 16.5, which was raised pertaining to the application for disability pension of Mr. Rivera that's pending before the committee, the section 16.5 does not disqualify Mr. Rivera from a disability pension. There's no act of fraud or dishonesty towards the employer, which in this case obviously is the town of New Canaan, pursuant to the criminal charges that were mentioned here this morning pertaining to Mr. Rivera. Any of the acts that were allegedly claimed to be committed by Mr. Rivera was not towards the employer and encompassing fraud or dishonesty. He had an outside business, and the charges arise from his outside business with regard to canine training. So with regard to 16.5, it's not a disqualifying factor pertaining to Mr. Rivera's disability, pending disability application. Thanks.
Does anyone have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Attorney Luciano?
And would the board want to go into executive session to deliberate?
Yes, yes.
Take a few
Okay.
minutes to do that, and
Okay.
then you're going to invite me and Cheryl.
Yep.
And then the board members.
Yep.
And Tucker?
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah, no,
executive?
Tucker's not an executive.
So I'll wrap this up.
Actually, you can leave everything as is. We just have to stop.
Someone else
tape.
just joined in. I don't know who.
it Michael Jackson?
594-3086.
I believe it's fire.
Okay.
Michael, is that
Michael?
you on?
Michael?
Whoever came on by phone, 594-3086.
What room were you in?
Oh, this is HR.
Oh, it's HR because it's April. So you can put her in the waiting room.
Okay.
Cheryl, what room are you in? Fire's asking.
Oh, we are in the boardroom.
Boardroom at Town Hall, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he here?
He said he's looking for you.
Oh, so he's here. Okay.
So you're going in, okay, so let me just pause the recording.
Vote to get into executive or do
You do need to vote.
Yeah, so could I take a vote to go into executive session? All those, and I move that oh, good, perfect. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? Bob Hamel, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ann, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous.
Yep.
Deanna, you do need to.
Okay, so I'm going to be inviting in Bob Hamel, Sebastian Abando, John Milligan, Michael Jackson, Chris Hodgson, Cheryl Jones, and Kelly Lentz, and myself, and
That's
that's
it.
it.
That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
Just to clarify, those are the pension committee members.
Correct.
I'm just making sure.
Cheryl and I.
Okay.
Can do anything.
That's
All
it.
right, you're good to go.
okay. All right, we are out of executive session, and the pension board has reviewed the application of Mr. Rivera for a disability pension in executive session. Would any member please make a motion concerning Mr. Rivera's application? And I would like to make that motion. I move that Mr. Rivera's application for disability pension be denied based on Mr. Rivera using his New Canaan police badge to illegally purchase explosives, which resulted in his conviction of several felonies: burglary in the 3rd degree, malicious wounding and killing of animals in the 1st degree, possession of explosives, and illegal purchase and receipt of a long gun, along with 2 misdemeanors. Mr. Rivera committed acts of dishonesty toward the town while employed by the town, resulting in forfeiture of pension benefits under section 16.5 of the funded retirement plan of the town of New Canaan, providing that a participant who commits any act of fraud or act of dishonesty toward the town while employed by the town may forfeit his pension benefits. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
That's Sebastian Abando, thank you. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Sebastian and John?
Well, we have one vote, sorry.
Okay. So the motion is unanimous, passes unanimously. Okay. Moving on to the next agenda item, review and approval of new pension benefits for terminating, retiring. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Okay, we have a long list. First one is Mo Zachary, Public Works. His termination date was 9/6 of 2024. His normal retirement date was 9/1 of 19. He worked 44.33 years, and he will receive a vested benefit of $7,938.51. Next one is Tony Zallo, Public Works. Termination date 8/2 of 24. Normal retirement commencement date was 5/1 of 19. He had 26.5 years with us, and his vested benefit will be $4,292.13. Next benefit is Danny Tierney, also Public Works. Termination date of 9/30/2024. Normal retirement date was 1/1 of 22. He had 25.75 years. His benefit is $4,737.09. Next pension benefit is for Theodore Malone, Board of Ed. Termination date 8/30 of 2024. Commencement date 5/1 of 2027. He had 28.83 years, and his vested benefit is $2,745.63. Next one is Maria DeAngelis, Board of Ed. Termination date 8/30/2024. Commencement date was 2/1 of 26. Years of credited service 17.91, with a vested benefit of $724.15. Next one is Janine Boyd, Board of Ed. Termination date 8/31/2024. Retirement commencement date 1/1 of 19. Years of credited service 24, and a monthly vested benefit of $1,270.13. And then that would be number 5. Oh, and then and then Noreen Foley is a beneficiary to Dan Foley, and she will be getting a monthly death benefit of $3,721.82.
Are there any questions? If not, if I could get a motion to approve the new pension benefits for terminating and retiring members. Bob
And Mike.
and Mike, thank you. Is the second? All those in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Next is the report on new and deceased members.
So we had deceased members 2, Cecido Pacelli, date of death was 7/7/24. There is a beneficiary, so USI is working out those payments, and I will report that at the next meeting. And Catherine Tangora, date of death 6/6 of 2024, and there's no beneficiary. There's no vote needed.
And then review and approval of plan expenses.
We only had one. It was for $97.20. It was for our attorneys. When we were transferring funds from Vanguard, we needed a form signed, and that was that.
Okay, so could I get a motion to approve the?
Actually, we don't need to approve it because it's below 5,000.
Oh, well, there we go. Thank you. No approval. And then report on market value of the plan.
We're currently at 176,247,867.62. So we're up a little bit from the last meeting.
Okay, any questions? If not, if I could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anne, second, Sebastian, all those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank
And
you very
again,
much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye-bye.